All right, what's up, everybody?
Hey, everybody, welcome.
We're back on 15 of 15, day 15.
Dang straight, make it happen.
How's it going?
I hate taking pictures of myself. Yeah.
You messed up already?
I'm taking pictures of myself.
Did you miss a day?
I missed a day. I think I have to restart.
You do have to restart.
Yep.
What day did you miss?
I missed last night.
Yeah.
So today is 1 of 1 for me because I didn't take a picture of myself, which I think is pretty. It's a part of the process. I understand. So that's what I messed up on. I didn't take a picture of myself.
That's okay. The last time I did it, I messed up on. It was that one that got me. That one gets a lot of people.
It's hard
It's
because
like,
I've done all the other steps and. What are you supposed to? Hey, I'm just going to take a picture of myself.
yep.
I should make it the first thing I do in the morning instead of the last thing I do at night.
Yeah, that is a big difference. But I can't do that either. I'm not thinking in that mode that early. So what I do is I just do it in the day sometime. So then I have less of a chance of forgetting.
Right.
The other thing I do is I have a list. There is an app you can download.
Oh yeah.
And every day it will give you your new list, and then you just go throughout the day and you check it off. I have a list in my notes that it's set up as a list so I can check it off every day. And it has a lot of stuff on it, not just the whatever, the 75 hard
Right.
stuff. Like it has drums and piano and
Right on.
So you're back on day 1 today.
Day 1, starting off fresh.
Well, I don't think I've missed anything any days. The working out I think is getting a little easier. I've been doing more dumbbells and
Nice.
less drumming workouts.
Okay.
So what I was doing at the beginning is I would do like 15 minutes of just as fast as I could go double bass, and that really makes your legs hurt,
Right.
And then I basically changed to other things too. Now I do that separately, and then I do an extra 15 minutes of dumbbell workouts. But when I started, I was doing 25 pounds, and now I'm down to 15 pounds dumbbell workouts. So 15 pounds in each hand.
Right.
So, it's making it, I don't know if it's easier or what, but I'm trying to get through the whole workouts.
Right.
So, but I don't think that I don't know that the muscles are hurting as bad doing that. And I don't know if it's because I'm getting stronger or if it's because I went down so much weight. But I think it's probably a mixture of both, I guess. Yeah. So what do you think about everything else that's going on?
I don't know. I think it's going well with the workout or with everything else in the world. Well, the workouts, everything else
75 hard.
Well, it's hard. It's not easy.
Yeah. How does it compare to other, like, I don't know if you've ever done other programs.
I have.
But is it like harder than other ones you've done, or?
I think it's no, because I can't say that. As far as like the diet part, everything like that's been going great. I have like no desire to go eat like a handful of snacks like at all.
Yeah.
Like so that's
So
been
candy,
put to bed. Yeah,
you
like
haven't been trying
I'm
to eat
not
a bunch of
thinking about candy. I'm not thinking about because I've been eating them nuts and dried apricots and crap like that, and they're boring as crap. Like I'm not complaining, but they're nice. It's like that smell we smelt in the car. Like it's made my nose be a little bit more finite,
Because you're not eating snacks?
Yeah, because I don't have to smell synthetic sugars anymore. Now I can smell like the true essence of an orange, or it's made my palate a little bit better. It's kind of weird to say.
Yeah, I don't know why.
But without eating all them sugars, all them sweets, I can actually taste like the real sweetness in things.
Yeah.
Better.
I don't know why, but we have a buzz again. So you think it's actually adding to your taste buds?
Yeah. Adios.
I mean, the other day I had a buzz, and then I did it without that thing, and I didn't have a buzz. I still have a buzz. I don't know why. I don't know why these buzzes, they come and go.
I don't know why I have no buzz.
No, it's out to YouTube.
Oh, okay. Dang, sorry, YouTubers.
So for some reason, the YouTube has a buzz. Yeah, and like I don't even have it in these headphones. So I guess that means that it's probably going through that wire there. Or the computer's adding it or something. I don't know. Maybe one day we'll figure out how to make this situation work correctly. Right. I don't know.
Didn't you bridge it last time? I thought you did a bridge on the output and it fixed it.
A gate.
A gate, yeah.
Well, it does. It works when we're quiet.
Right.
But it only works when we're quiet. So the buzz is still there when you're talking.
Okay.
And it's just laying underneath your vocals.
Right.
And so you might hear it or you might not, depending on what we're doing. So like if we're playing a song, you won't hear the buzz because basically it takes up the same space as the guitar.
Right.
And the guitar is distorted, so the buzz just disappears into distorted guitar. But on vocals, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to be able to hear a buzz and us. If we like threw music on, it might work, but that bugs people too. So I don't know.
Right. There is this one YouTube guy that puts music on behind, and like I kept like looking outside. I kept hearing. I thought someone was like hitting their car beeper, and I'm like, oh, it's just a stupid YouTube music. Like, dee. What's going on?
Yeah. So that's
maybe he had a gate noise and he was trying to get rid of it.
No, so the gate, it just turns it on or off. So it would just mute when we're quiet and we wouldn't have the buzz. But the thing that bugs me about it is like the buzz doesn't just stay there. Like it'll go away.
Right.
It goes away and then I can't figure out what is actually making the buzz. I think what I need to do is redo everything in here and get rid of any cabling and anything that's plugged in that we don't need, and maybe that would help. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or we just need to go to full production and stop live streaming, because it's the live streaming that's the issue. Because if we did an actual recorded episode that was in full production, we could record the audio, mix the audio. You know, we're trying to do a live mix here, so it is what it is. But if we recorded it, you know, then mixed it and then cut it and then put it out, I think that's what we need to move towards.
Okay.
It's hard to do that with 75 hard and everything else that we're doing, you know what I mean? Because it's a lot more work. But if I could get to where I was, I don't know, that'd be a lot. So maybe not.
You talked it through. Good job.
Yeah. Just deal with the buzz. Nobody's listening to this shit anyways. Maybe if we go to full blown to where we're like researching topics,
right,
putting up, you know, videos and everything like that, we should probably just record it at least.
Right.
You know, and then any little buzz or anything like that we wouldn't have.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know if it's through this computer that's streaming that the buzz is in, which actually makes sense because we don't hear it in our headphones.
Right.
And so the mixer has multiple outputs. One of the outputs is going to this computer and the other output's going to our headphones. So either that output has a buzz or it's in this computer. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I feel bad for your computer because we're cutting you open.
No.
The blue light's not on.
No. Yeah, well, even that, it might be cold enough down here. We don't need that, but I'll turn it on. So we're only at 12%. Like, it'll be interesting to see if we start talking about some conspiracy theory stuff, if this thing crashes or not. What were we talking about last time?
Well, we were talking about pop.
Yeah.
The last topic we really hit on was pop, and then the topic after that was inauguration and the Biden pardon.
Oh.
We were talking about the pardons, and then it went nyonk.
So I mean, some people are saying that stuff is illegal, like that it's not going to work.
Right.
I don't know what that means, but what do you think about all the deportations?
I've actually To be honest with you, I didn't hear any white people talking about it, but I heard a whole bunch of other folks that would not quit talking about it.
What do you mean?
Like this one guy, my Coke delivery driver, he was talking to like his homie about it. And he's like, they were like talking about it. Like they had like a full on discussion about how they felt about their families, and then they made a joke about each other calling ice on each other. And, and I'm like, what? You have a CDL. You should be legal. Like, isn't that like a part of it? Like, don't you have to be like legal?
No.
To have a CDL?
And that's a problem. You should be, but no, it's not. Like, that industry is so overregulated. You would think that would be right, but it isn't that way. And a lot of people get CDLs that really shouldn't even be driving at all.
Right. Oh, yeah.
You know, it's getting worse and worse and worse. That I watch this YouTube channel called the Bonehead Truckers.
Yeah.
And all that it is just, it's kind of started as like a truck driver started it, and he was calling out the industry, saying like, you know, no wonder why they don't let us park anywhere, because we just leave our trash everywhere.
Right.
Like, truckers just leave their trash everywhere, or their piss jugs, or, you know,
Moon
whatever.
pies.
Yeah. And it's like, so he's just calling out the industry, or we just park in the freaking fuel island. You know what I mean? Like, truckers will just go and get fuel, then park in there and go take a shower. Like, with their truck blocking this busy fuel island, and all these other truckers can't get fuel, you know? And, you know, if you're watching this for the first time, you don't know me. Like, I'm a truck driver. That's what I do for my day job. But anyways, so I'm watching this channel, and like over the years of watching it, eventually this thing started evolving.
Right.
And the dude calls it the White Volvo Mafia.
The White Volvo. Dang straight. I believe it.
They're always driving white Volvos.
Yes.
And it's like, it's not Mexicans. It's like Middle Eastern people. Like, they just like are the worst drivers. Or like,
I get so mad at them.
Such weird stuff. I mean,
they park in the poo line. Or the RV dump. Sorry, I should say that better. The RV dump line, they park in that. Yeah,
well, because they don't. One of the things that they do, and like I actually watched a tow trucker YouTube, and he posted this. He went to tow one of these white Volvos, and the only thing he filmed was kind of just him going up to the truck. It's broke down on the side of the freeway, right?
Right.
And he looks underneath it, and then he just gets back in his tow truck and leaves. And, like, none of these people speak English. There must be 6 Middle Eastern dudes there.
Right.
And basically, as he's leaving, he just drives away. And he's like, I'm not towing that. And he goes, basically what they have done is they just cut a hole in the back of the truck. Yeah. And as they're going down the road, they just, like, let it out. And there's, like, 6 of them in there, and they're all probably driving this truck 24/7. You know what I mean? It probably never stops.
Right.
And they're just hauling, and they're just... I don't know. The only thing that I know about a CDL is supposed to be required, I think. I mean, the book for the CDL, it's so freaking thick of all these laws that you have to follow.
All the rules.
I might have it right here. I think I do, actually. So, but the only the one that I know of that might get them is you're supposed to be able to speak English. I think that's one of the rules.
Right.
Yeah, so here it is right here. So this is like...
the Bible.
You're not going to be able to see it because it's green.
Well, actually, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations Pocketbook. And this is the pocketbook. And it's like 2 inches thick.
Right.
You know? So, and this just has like all of the stuff in it that basically, you know, how to tie your stuff down and how you're supposed to have everything tied down. And, you know, there's even stuff in here about hauling other vehicles.
Right.
So it's like, you know, there's just, yeah. It's not going to work very well because of the green screen. But, you know, and I don't know for sure because I speak English, but this is just what people say in Facebook comments on those posts all the time, or YouTube comments. They're just like, you're supposed to speak English to be able to get a CDL. So, you know, and the other thing I heard too, this might be true, is that regular police... like will not, if they pull over somebody who's illegal, like it's kind of above their head or out of their pay grade or whatever you want to say.
Big old problem.
And they just won't.
Right.
They'll just be like, okay, well, here's your warning. you know,
He's-
because I don't want to. I don't even know what to do with you in this situation. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I don't want to be tied up with you. Well, and yeah, depending on what state you're in too, there's different federal regulations.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, well, with us too, like we're federally regulated.
Right.
So like we can get pulled over by regular police, but they're not going to be able to go through and do an inspection.
right.
But the highway patrol, they'll go through and do an inspection because I think the way that I heard it, this is all what I heard because I don't know how true any of this is. But the highway patrol is actually a federal agency.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
more so they're actually able to, enforce a lot more on CDL holders than regular police.
And they have special CDL units. As
Yeah.
our highway
Right.
patrol has CDL
Yeah.
units, and they'll even stop
they-
them residentially too, and weigh trucks, and
Yeah.
they got whole sets of scales, which are kind of cool.
Yeah, so that guy, and I drive by that guy every day. Every day I drive by that guy, and he's usually got somebody pulled over. He likes to hang out at the gravel pit and pick on the dump trucks.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Well,
You
I
know.
mean, for good reason, because they've been barreling through that neighborhood several times.
Yeah, well, the gravel pit I'm thinking of, I don't think there's a neighborhood that they go through. I'm talking about the one at the point of the mountain.
Oh,
It's
I
like,
thought you were talking about the one in Orem. Because the one in Orem, they nail those guys all the time because
Yeah.
they have barreled
No,
through
this
that
dude
neighborhood.
just chills on I-15. Like, and he just like I'll see him. He hangs out on I-15 or at the point of the mountain, and he'll be off on whatever that road is that has the Maverick up there,
Right.
and he'll pull people over, and he'll either be up there or sometimes he gets them on the on ramp onto I-15.
Yeah. Well, that one on ramp right there, that Maverick one,
Yeah.
they had 4 accidents there from the trucks coming down from the neighborhood above,
Oh, really?
and they barreled through and
yeah.
caused a wreck on the interstate, caused a wreck beyond the interstate.
Yeah. Well, one day, this was the worst wreck of my career, I think. Truck. Well, not as far as loss of life, but as far as how bad it backed up the freeway. Because like this oil tanker, like rolled and like went sideways in the freeway.
Yeah.
And dumped all this oil all over the road. Like
Yeah.
just who knows how many thousands of gallons of oil.
Right.
And I think it took them like 10 or 12 hours to clean it up. I drove by it going out there, and like, of course, everybody's just talking about it all day.
Right.
And like, I was basically done with my route at like 9 a.m. It was something like this. And I had to go around it because you could just see the
Right.
miles and miles of dead end. Like
Yeah,
the whole
ain't
freeway
going
was
nowhere.
closed.
Yeah.
Probably like 100 miles or 50 miles of just gridlock traffic, So I had to drive around it. I didn't get home till 1. It's a half hour, maybe it's an hour drive back
Right.
to where. So I should have been home at 10. I didn't get home till 1. I had to actually take a lunch because I was over my time. I mean, actually, I probably didn't have to, but I thought I did. So that's another thing about trucking is they have all these funny ass rules you got to follow. Like
Yeah.
basically, it's the way they word it too. It's like if you're gonna work 14 hours, then you have to take a lunch before 8 hours. That's what it used to be. I think it's changed now, but it's still something like that, and it's so confusing. You're just like, well, how do I know if I'm going to work 14 hours? What if the tanker truck rolls over on the freeway?
Right.
Now, technically, I'm still working. Until I get that truck back to home base, I'm on the clock and
Right.
working. So, and they supposedly have, little things you can put in, like exceptions for things like that. But the guy who taught me at school said that they don't ever work. Said they don't make any sense. And I'm like, yeah. Well. So I had to actually drive across the valley. What should have taken 15 minutes took me an hour and a half. And then I got across the valley and realized that I might be over on my time. I didn't want to get a violation for not taking a lunch. So I stopped in a Smith's parking lot and took a lunch. Sat there for half an hour. Oh, we're going red.
Yeah.
See, what is it? Why is it like because we're streaming in the day? Like, I don't get it, man. We're on a new file now. This is the gaming file that I use. This is the YouTube that I use. Right?
Right. Maybe it's warning us, like, hey.
It makes zero sense.
Hey, you guys are getting too close to sensitive subjects.
I'm just gonna stop streaming. Is anybody watching? Nobody's watching. I'm gonna stop the streaming, and we're just gonna continue with the recording. It's a good thing I pushed record. I mean, I don't think we're talking about sensitive subjects, though. It's like truck drivers, they're over-regulated.
What? Well, hey,
What
if we bring up that one dude's name?
Look, if you can't, what dude?
The guy that went missing that no one's ever found, that got the truckers to unite.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, it's like one of the biggest conspiracies. Jimmy Hoffa.
Is that what that guy did? I
Yeah.
thought he was like involved with the mob.
He was, but he.
Well, there you go then.
But he also organized all the truckers.
He didn't pay his gambling debt. That's probably what happened. I mean, I don't even know what happened with that dude. But
Jimmy Hoffa, he got all the truckers to unite, and so he was like the head for all the trucking unions, and so all the trucking unions used to come up to him, and he was like, he almost stopped all the groceries from going in New York City, and like everyone was like losing their mind, and then he went missing. And trucking's hasn't been the same since.
Well, I know in like supposedly in the 70s, there was a lot of freaking bull crap going on.
Yeah.
A lot of accidents, a lot of people dying, falling asleep at the wheel and so forth. And then supposedly, the more and more they made this book thicker, the safer everything got. Supposedly. The more, because now, what I was going to say is like in your regular personal car, the cop has to have a reason to pull you over. Right. Cop doesn't have to have a reason to pull me over. They can pull me over for whatever they want, just to inspect.
Just to check your log.
Yeah.
Or you have a computer log now.
Yeah, I don't. I'm local, so I don't have a log.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's just whatever. I mean.
But I definitely agree with you. Like outside of normal trucking, when I have to deal with people that do not speak English, it's hard. It's super difficult. Like, because we had a truck that was too high and the dock plate wouldn't, like, sit on it. And everyone, like, plus you're, like, trying to go up and then down.
Yeah.
So we're like, hey, can you lower this? And the guy, he's like, what? We're like, help us out here, homie. Like, we're lifting, like, thousands of pounds of water, and we have no electric jack, and we're trying to go over this hump.
Can't you, like, drive the forklift in there?
I didn't want to do it.
Why not?
I was trying to go home.
You have a forklift.
Yeah, well, it wasn't me that was unloading. It was some other wiener who couldn't drive it.
Oh.
So, I ended up having to drive it. But
Now I see the issue.
Yeah, it wasn't me. I can
then
drive
you
it.
have to do it, right?
I don't mind doing it, but if it's, like, if someone starts doing it and they're hell-bent on doing it, I'll just let you do it.
Yeah, I mean, I would mind. Unloading water sucks, especially if you're going to use a freaking pallet jack.
No, I use the forklift all the time.
Well, and isn't that ridiculous too? Just how much of that shit that everybody sells. Like it's yeah.
But the truck driver didn't understand at all.
What the
like,
fuck did we do?
Lower it, and he's like, "What? I don't know."
Yeah.
Well, he didn't even say that. He just kept looking at his phone.
We have Google Translate. He probably speaks perfect English.
I guarantee.
He's just like, fuck you.
He didn't want to go pull the pin and drive forward.
Yeah.
Undo the latch pin or whatever. He didn't care.
Yeah. Well, it does seem weird that your docks would be that far off. Usually it's the old stores.
The only ones
is that store old?
No. The only trucks that have a problem with it, again, is the Volvo Mafia, or what are they called? Not Wasatch, but
Wabash.
Wabash,
what do
yeah.
they deliver?
Sometimes they'll deliver the frozen sushi.
Oh, really?
And the Wabash guys are way high. Like, they're like almost 8 inches taller than...
Do you guys have a leveler plate?
I have a leveler plate, yep.
Oh, but it just wasn't... It was just too much still?
Yeah, it's just like you have to pop it all the way up. So you have to pull the chain until it goes all the way up. And then it barely, like, will lay on them. And sometimes with the Wabash, they're they're too narrow for the plate because they have all the gears to low for their lift to plate.
Right. Yeah.
So it won't. And my dock plate fits on anyone else's butt.
Well,
has
it's
a hard
also
time
like
with them.
how they center it.
Yeah.
If they don't center it, like I had this Pepsi guy that he would just never center the crap, and then he would come in the store, and then he'd have to go back out and pull the truck out and redo it, and then come in, and like every time, and I'm like, finally one day I was like, look, dude, like there's a yellow line on the pad. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you put your truck right there, I said, go center it, and then look in your mirrors and see where the truck is on this line.
Right.
Don't come in here again until your truck is right on that line.
Right.
And he never had an issue again. I had to train truck drivers all the time when I was a receiver. Train them how to back up. Like, don't they teach you how to back up in the school?
Yeah, you should like know how to get in and out. Like, this is like the last part, the vital part.
Well, now that I've been in school, dude,
Yeah.
it's like they don't teach you how to back up.
Yeah.
They don't. They just have you go drive around and get your hours, and then you're like they have to do two. There's basically like two. I don't know what you would call them, like obstacle courses that you have to do at different schools. There's like a bunch you can choose from, but the school only has to provide two for you. And at the school I went to, it was like, I think it was like a slalom, which is not backing up, and a parallel park. I'm like, why do truck drivers need to learn how to parallel park? And I mean literally parallel park.
Yeah, right.
And the reason that this school was doing it is because their lot wasn't big enough to choose any other of the things.
Of the combinations.
So, yeah, those are the two they picked. So, like, I'm in a box truck. So, and my company let me take the truck to school, right? So, I'm actually in my own truck that I'm still driving today. That's the truck I learned on and everything. And, like, I'm watching these guys in a tractor trailer having to parallel park.
Right.
Like a big 53-foot tractor trailer. And I'm just like, and I like just do it easily, And I'm like, okay, well, now what are we going to do the rest of the day? Because I just did it perfect the first time.
Right. Yeah.
They're over there struggling. But, like, I'd been driving the truck for 3 weeks,
Right.
But,
the Wabash, they also have a weird dock plate too. Like their lift gate is the weirdest I've ever seen.
yeah.
Because they have like a safety scissor that also goes out with it, so that you just don't randomly fall off the sides of the dock plate.
Yeah. Some of them have, like, chains and stuff like that, but...
Yeah, I'm like, dang. Like that.
Yeah.
That looks ridiculous.
I'm surprised ours don't have anything, really, with the way my company is about safety. But they just train us a lot about,
Well, even when I get like gas cylinders, because we changed to this like a different gas company that delivers the helium to the
balloons.
to the balloons. It's a big cylinder truck. It's not like a little tiny guy truck, because they carry all the cylinders for all kinds of crap on their truck.
Yeah.
And that dude, his dock plate's weird too, but he didn't have a problem with it,
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny seeing those guys come through. I'm glad they speak English.
Yeah, well, the Wabash guys, all they need to do, and they just need to learn to do this when they deliver there, is they just need to back up till they hit the dock, and then they need to pull forward about 6 inches. And that's going to solve it.
Right.
Because your leveler plate, it goes like
I
this
have 6
in.
inches, yeah.
So if they just pull forward, it will work every time. And, like, since it's their trucks, they should know that.
Yeah, the Wabash guys, I always got a problem with them.
Yeah.
They're usually in too much of a hurry, too. They don't even know what they're doing. Like they're supposed to take it to the freezer, not me.
Yeah.
Because it's a paid contract. It's it's all third
party.
Well,
yeah, you guys aren't. That's a vendor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you're not even.
Yeah.
You shouldn't even be receiving it. The sushi.
Right. Yeah.
Like they need. I always made them go get the sushi guy. I'm like, I'm not signing that thing off.
That's what
like,
I said.
I'm not buying that. I'm like, you don't realize that's a whole different business. That's a whole different
Right.
business that exists inside this business. I don't work for them. They don't work for Smiths. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you need to go figure that out through them.
We're not homies.
Yeah, I'm not signing for their stuff. They don't pay me to receive their loads. You know, but yeah,
And it changes kind of sometimes too. So sometimes it'll be with Bosch, sometimes it will be EMS.
yeah, yep. Is it EMF or EMS? It's been so long since I received, so I don't really remember. But I do know. I want to talk about receivers though. We need to like freaking Walmarts.
Freaking
man.
Walmarts, get them whipped out. What about the Winco ones? Those ones are the worst. I hear all my truck
they
drivers
are.
complain about the Winco.
Like the Wincos can be. It depends on the receiver really, and I guess the Walmarts are like that too. Their policies are horrible.
right.
Like Winco policies, they want you to open every box. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm bringing you 3 pallets. Like,
Right.
you know, this is going to take forever. And in my whole career, I've only ever had like 3 low fills. You know, I've
right.
sold a lot. But anyway, so yeah, Wincos can be bad, but I don't think they're as bad as Walmart's. Like they'll let you in. The Winco will let you in when it's 20 degrees outside, you know.
Yeah.
Walmart's won't, and that's their policy. They're not supposed to open the door. At certain times they can open the door.
Yeah.
And so if they're right in the middle of receiving a Coke load, you're just going to sit out there in the cold and like it. And I'm just like, where's, you know, at some point, like I understand the receiving policies because we're all thieves, right?
We're all stealing everything. We're all trying to get that commission.
Yeah, but I also don't understand it at all because, like, where is your humanity? You know, you're just going to leave people out in 20-degree weather and not allow your receivers to at least just open the door and let the guy in.
Right.
And it's not even about me. I like the cold.
Yeah.
But this morning, the Red Bull's sitting there, and I don't know, he didn't come prepared to work. He doesn't really have a coat on.
Right.
You know, it's like, and it's 20 degrees out. I'm working in a freezer, so I get used to it.
Right.
But he is just like, he's got shorts on and barely a coat. And I'm like, dude, it's 20 degrees out here. And he was there, and like the way that they work too, he can't like just load it back up and leave and come back.
No.
Because he had to go in, write an order, then get their 6-wheeler or their cart, wheel it out. Then he has a side bay, so he unloads his stuff onto their cart and then goes back and dings the bell.
Right.
Well, like my stuff's on a pallet with my pallet jack. I can just load it back up and come back later, which is what I did. Because, you know, usually Coke is gone by 6.
Right.
But he was there, and sometimes he's a little late. So I got there at 6, unloaded, went over there, you know. And I basically waited, and the Red Bull guy was in front of me, which wouldn't be a big deal. He was pretty fast, you know. By 6:30, finally the receiver opens the door and says, "I'm still auditing Coke," and then closes the door again, leaving us out there.
That's jacked up.
I'm like, you can't just like, we could leave our loads outside.
Right.
You know, it could be like, just come in here and stand right here and don't do anything. But at least you can be in the warmth.
Yeah.
You're like, your product has to stay outside. I had a Walmart do that to me like a week ago. They were like, I can't let you product in, but it's cold, so just come in and stand right here. And I'm like, well, I don't care. I like the cold, but whatever. I'll come in decks while I'm waiting. But they're just like, what is wrong with Walmart? Like, seriously, and if you shop at Walmart or Winco for that matter, and you like truck drivers, you should reconsider.
Yeah, tell them to, yeah. I even painted a different box so I can have more vendors stand in a box. But I'm also quick. I'm a quick receiver. Like I don't cut corners. I'm thorough. I'm black and white.
Yeah.
I don't let shit slide. But I'm a human. I know what's up. Like I get mistakes can happen, and I can do 2 vendors at once.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I get it. You know, it's like, but I think we have lost something in this country.
But if you build a rapport with them, they're not going to rip you off.
I mean, they might or they might not. This is my point with it: is if I'm going to steal, I'm going to steal.
Right.
There's nothing you're going to do about it.
I'm not going to be able to stop you.
You're not patting me down when I leave. You know what I mean? So, like, I could go out to the shelf and shove something in my pocket, and then I'm going to steal it.
Someone
and
out
you're
there-
not going to catch me. Right?
Someone out there has been rough on them all because they will like open their bag and like, look. I'm like,
Well, that's what your policy is.
I get it and I like it.
So if I go buy something, you're supposed to check my receipt when I
Right.
leave, right? That's pretty much universal at everywhere. Which I'm like, yeah, I'm just like, okay, so what we've done is this. I've thought about this for a long time because I was a receiver before.
Right.
And like what I think is this is all of these policies are made off of thieves.
Right.
So these thieves are controlling our
Yeah,
corporations.
they've won. They have won.
Yeah.
The thieves won.
And how many people are actually thieves?
Not very many.
And I mean, the phrase goes, to a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right?
Right.
So you get these LP guys in, and they're like, well, everybody's stealing, but I'm only catching these ones, right? And that's what they're thinking there. So we're just going to treat everybody like they're stealing. At what point do you, realize that you've gone too far when you have vendors sitting out in 20-degree weather for half an hour plus, just standing there waiting to be let in, and you can't let them in?
Yeah.
Like, if you do your job as a receiver, then you have to make that person stand outside in the weather. It's just like, it's ridiculous,
Yeah, if my company was like that, I'd probably have a bigger problem.
They used to be.
Right. At least, yeah. At least I can talk to my bosses because I stand up for the vendors all the time. Because I look at it like they're a part of the team. Because they're going to make their product look better than I can. You know what I mean? Because that's how you get sales. If your product looks really good, you're going to sell it. You know what I mean? They want to achieve greatness, and I want them to do it too. I give them cleaners. I give them paper towels. They don't even have to ask. I keep a special section just for vendors. Tape, out of stock stickers, like anything they need, it's accessible to them so they can do the job better.
Yeah, and I think that's how a lot of receivers look at it, but it's not the receivers.
Right.
Well, other than, it is the policy of the companies.
Right. Yeah.
But what the receivers need to do is just say no.
Yeah.
When they're like, when they get their LP guy or their boss saying, hey, you got to leave that guy outside. You can only let one in at a time. They need to just say, I'm not doing that.
Scratch that. Yep.
So just, you can do whatever you want to do, but I'm not. And that's the point that I got to when I was a receiver. And I just told him, I was like, look, I'm not doing that. So if you need to fire me, then fire me. I literally told the guy that one time. I was like, look, and I was like, I felt at that time I was sick of their shit, basically.
Right.
And it's not any different now. It's like, it's the same thing. When I'm sitting out there watching that Red Bull guy and we're just sitting out there in the 20-degree weather, I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This system that we have here is like, it's just not right. It's not morally correct.
Right.
So basically the receiver needs to realize that and stand up on a value.
Yeah.
And be like, I'm not putting people out in the cold just because of your policy, Walmart.
And they order so much too. Like that's what I don't get either. Is like Winco, like the new stuff that comes out, they order so much more of it than anyone else.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Winco will they still do buy-ins.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Oh yeah.
So they're still if they get a good deal on it, they're gonna buy a lot of it. So,
Yeah.
and that's what I mean. It's like with their policy where we're opening all the cases. With my cases, the way I do it, you can tell when one's low. So
especially when they're scanning because you've got the window.
Well, yeah, we have a window that has both things.
Yeah.
And we did get away with it the other day. I'll find out if she got tagged or not for it because the other day they had her LP was literally standing right there watching her audit me, So and the other vendors. So I don't know if things will change there because she was a little bit more lax than the last receiver about some of that stuff. But I got to the point to where I told the last receiver, one day I went in there and I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Right.
I'm like, so we need to come up with a better solution.
Yeah.
And then, of course, she's like, well, maybe you can come up with it the next person because I put my 2 weeks in. And I was like, oh, good. I'm like, all right, well, this is how I want to do it, I told her. And I said, you can still see that the box is full.
Right.
I'm like, it's ridiculous that because I was restacking everything.
Oh, yeah.
So, and sometimes I take 4 pallets in there.
And yeah,
So imagine me restacking 4 pallets into a 5 tie, from a 6 tie to a 5 tie,
right.
just so that they can see and make sure that all the stuff's there. I'm like, you know, it's never not been. Not one time did I ever go in there and find a low fill.
Right.
Not once did I find it there. I found it 3 times at different stores, but never once there. Like, or, you know, and 3 times for as many loads as I've taken out is like, it's ridiculous, you know.
And I exactly agree, because you got to give them enough room to do it right and support the because like I said, they want to do a good job. Of course, they want their product to sell. They want it. Every vendor has their own little pride, you know. Like,
yeah, but it's like at some point you just have to realize that we're just like pushing this stuff through. You know,
Yeah.
we just need to get it out. It's like we just need to get on our way.
Right.
You know, we all just need to do our job and move on with our lives, because like we all have these shitty jobs. You know,
Right.
none of us are in full-blown careers that we love. I don't know hardly anybody, if anybody, that's in the grocery business on purpose.
Right, it's because they love it so
Yeah,
much.
we're all just like there trying to get our stuff paid for, you know.
Right.
But I don't know. There's not that many people that I know of that are on commission anymore. They don't get the big commissions like they used to. It's all small now, and like the industry has changed, but you still have these old managers that still think that that's the way it is.
Yeah, when I went through that My Day training,
Yeah.
They mentioned that.
Yeah, well, I guess for you guys now, you're going to be able to see if we're over ordered, right?
Yeah, and it's kind of silly too, because actually when you look at it, it does say that they're over ordered, but it doesn't say like refuse it. It will say like one thing is over ordered.
Right, but they told you guys not to refuse it. That's what I
They
heard.
did. Yep, they told us not to. They said,
right,
talk to them and
but you're
blah,
gonna,
blah, blah.
You know how it's gonna.
It's gonna come down the pipe though. You're completely.
There's gonna be some receiver that's like, you know, and I know the one. I'm thinking of the exact receiver in my head right now. I know the exact one that's gonna start refusing it.
Well, they were asking me about that already. My manager was like saying, "Oh, we'll be able to see if they've been bringing in too much crap." I'm like, "No, you need to stay out of that program. You don't even need to look at it. You need to butt out."
The problem is if the balance on hands are incorrect,
right?
Which of course they're gonna be, because they always are.
Well, we started a new Pro Egg problem that is wrong. No one. I went to my local grocer, and they had no milk. They had plant-based milk, and that was stuff people kept looking at it and put it back. And they'd look at it and they'd put it back. You know,
because they were out.
Yeah, because they didn't follow the program. They didn't follow their balance on hand, and so the Pro Egg program won't order milk, won't order eggs.
Oh, really? So they have to order it now?
Yeah, you have to it's a whole outside. You have to audit. Yeah, your audits have to be right with how much they're selling, etc. Right, and people's dairy coolers are jacked up right now because they're not following it. I printed off the whole thing and gave it to everyone. I'm like, here, read it, do it right, because I don't want you coming and asking me when it's jacked up or why we ain't got no sour cream. You know, because you guys aren't doing it.
What would it have to do with you?
Because when you pay the invoice, it puts it into the inventory.
But you don't pay milk or sour cream, do you? That's on ESI, isn't it?
It is, but the Pro Eggs. Well, the Pro Eggs brings in the eggs and the milk. And if
did they lose their dairy?
The dairy is different. Well, because it's all incorporated in this scan program they have now.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I've been out of the loop too long. I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah, so
I can barely get my thing to log in every time I show up.
Yeah, we don't even have Oakdale no more. It's this. They call it the Pro Egg program.
Yeah, so that's just eggs then.
No, it's a dairy too. It's like the whole dairy thing.
But they like make their own milk. Like Smith's owned the dairy.
Yeah, but
did they sell the dairy and now they're buying milk?
No, it's still our milk, but it's their audit program is what it's called.
Yeah, so if they don't do it right, then the milk doesn't show up.
Yeah, so if they don't do it right,
the balance on hand.
Yeah, so if their balance on hand if they're not doing it correctly, then they get no milk. Because if they're not scanning out correctly, then they don't get no milk, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I think our stuff will come either way, but and they did say that they were gonna shut off the plus outs for our stuff because of this program. But they told us that they weren't gonna refuse it either. But it's
Right.
like you just never know.
Well, like I just said, it all matters on who's watching it, who's bored that day, and they want to be like, "Oh, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Did you do this?" Because that gives me like a whole list of stuff I'm supposed to do. It's like, you need to do this today. I'm like, okay, cool, right on, machine. Thank you, my supreme overlord.
That's right. Gonna go follow your machine. Your machine knows all.
But the nice thing about it though is the vendor audit, like the shelf audit, vendor scan.
Yeah.
It's all digital now, and so that's way fast.
Yeah, I mean, but my thing is like the balance on hands are gonna be wrong, and so with my stuff it's not that big a deal because I'll just go verify.
Right.
And I'll be able to verify whether if that stuff, if we have a lot of it or whatever, I'll be able to know.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I always do that anyway.
It takes 2 seconds to go
yeah,
check.
I just go run over and look. But yeah, I don't know. I think, that's the thing though. Talking to the people is what you guys should have been doing all along. And some of you do it, and
I
some
agree.
of you don't.
You have to.
Some of you are yelling at me. And I'm like, I don't have anything to do with ordering. I drive the truck.
Yeah, don't yell at that dude.
Like, I can't help you with your order.
Yeah.
You need to call this guy. And they just don't want to. They're like, well, you're here, so I'm going to, talk to you about it. And I'm like, well,
Wrong person.
I'm like, it's not my responsibility. So I can't help you. I couldn't help you even if I wanted to. I don't have control to the
Right.
order, Like, you got to go talk to the salesman. It's like, and you should know that.
Right.
Manager.
You should know who
hey,
they
Mr.
look
Manager.
like. Yeah. What do they
You know?
look like? You should be talking to them all the time.
I mean, yeah, like our guy should come find you.
Right.
Like, and that's the thing too, is that maybe he doesn't enough. I don't know, but whatever. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, it all goes together. One hand gotta wash the other. Like, use them for what they're best at.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, if you guys are hearing this and you're a vendor, why don't you put down below your bitch about the situation?
And if you're
What's
illegal,
your complaint?
put down your bitch about that.
You getting deported? Are you on the next? Are you on the next deportations?
Yeah. Are you on the next one out?
Well, if you're going back, then fix your country. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just take what you learned here and take it over there.
Make it a better Mexico.
Yeah, apply
Make it a better
there.
Venezuela.
That's right.
Yeah, don't come here. We're fucked.
Yeah, stay where you are and make it like it is here.
Get yourself a Donald Trump.
Yeah, get yourself a Donald Trump, elect him, have him start deporting whoever goes into your country.
Yeah, get them Venezuelans out of Mexico.
If that happens. I mean, does that even happen in other countries?
Yeah.
Everybody just wants to come here.
Well, they all got to go through one to get here.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, though. Well, not always. I mean, do you think the Middle Easterns do that?
Yeah, they come
too?
through Canada.
They come through Canada?
Yeah, they do. They do. They get a flight onto Germany, go into Canada, and then they go through Michigan.
I hope we envelop Canada.
We better.
That'd be nice.
Let's spank them Canucks.
Yeah.
Let's mark off.
We're just going to help you guys out, all right?
Yeah.
You need more guns anyways. They can't have handguns up there.
Yeah, they can have tasers or box knives, karate sticks.
Yeah, what an awful place to live. Can't even have a handgun.
But boy, you can say hello real nice.
Yeah, look at the mountains.
Look at the mountains.
Run 100% antifreeze in your Chevy.
Right. Do you think that they would call it USA or UASAAA?
USAA. Yeah, A. All right.
All
Bye,
right.
bye everybody. Have a good day.